welcome to the fourth video. This is just going to be a quick video on the Boolean data type. But at first I wanted to show you PCSoft has a online help that you can search whether you're working in WinDev, WebDev, or WinDev Mobile. You can search their online help. And this page I have pulled up right now just shows you, the different data types. The Boolean data type allows you to reference a true or false value, store a true or false value. So we're going to take a look at how to do that. Let's go back to the Hello World application. You can see I've changed my screen up a little bit. I have a checkbox on here and I put a border around the static control so it's easier to see. Just so that you know, like any other Windows control, if you have the two-way arrow, you can resize your control. If you get the four-way arrow, you can drag it around. So you move your control to a place that you don't like. I'm gonna well, that's okay for there. Say I want this control in the center of my window. You can go to the alignment pane, and you have a lot of different options here, and you can play with those at your leisure and see what they do. But like just an example, if I want to center horizontally, then that centers my control, so it's nicely in the center of my page. Okay. All right. So I put a checkbox on here. Obviously, checkboxes, they're either checked or they're not, and a Boolean value is either true or false. So checkboxes are great, and usually when you're working with a checkboxes are great to test the Boolean variable. So and how did I get the checkbox on there? You just simply go to checkbox. You can drop it down, and you can select from a variety of types, but you can just put your control and drop it on there. Again, you hit the space bar, start typing, hit the enter key. That gets you a value there, and you can resize it, and now you have your control. All right, but I've got the one I'm going to use here, so I'm going to delete this one. All right. So what I'm going to do is, if this is going to either be checked or it's not going to be checked. If it's checked, then name's going to be in all caps. So I'm going to display the name down here in all caps. If it's not checked, then I'm going to display it in lowercase. Okay. So how I'm going to accomplish that is, let's go look at our code. Here I declared a Boolean value. Okay. B is name all caps is Boolean. So this variable here now is a Boolean data type. All right, and I'm just going to simply assign the condition of my checkbox to this value. And you can see here is how you comment your code, just // and then type in whatever. And that's how you can put a comment in your code. So so now this is a conditional statement. All right, you'll be using conditional statements quite a bit. So this is a look at the if-then conditional statement. And so what I'm simply saying is, if this variable is true, then I'm going to set my result equal to upper, which is a function. Upper is a function, procedure, method, however you want to call it. At any rate, and my result is a parameter. So I'm basically calling this function, passing in the my result variable as a parameter. And so inside this function, and this function is written by PCSoft, available for your use. It's going to convert all this into an uppercase. It's going to make it all uppercase. Same thing here. It's going to convert it to all lowercase. So if the checkbox, if it's been checked, so it's going to come back true, then I'm going to set the name to all uppercase. Else, so otherwise, if it's not, then I'm going to set it to lowercase. And then, again, we just assign that value to our static control. All right. So just to recap, you establish your Boolean variable, and then you check the condition here if it's true, uppercase, false, lowercase. So let's see how that works. If we run our program, so here's our checkbox. It's not checked. So if we say Bob Smith and we display the name, it's all lowercase. But if we check the box and we display the name, and now it's all uppercase. So unchecked, it's going to return false, and checked, it's going to return true. Now, this is just simply to show you how you can, store a Boolean value in a variable pointer. In this particular case, you don't have to do that. I could just simply say, you can just check the checkbox itself if it's true or false. You'll get the same results. So if we run that code, Bob Smith, and you display the name, it's lowercase. If you check the box, it's uppercase. Okay, so but there will be times where if you need to override for whatever reason. So let's change this back to our Boolean variable, and let's just say, for whatever reason, we wanted to override, right? Actually, let's do this. So I'm forcefully setting it to false here, regardless of what this condition is. We're going to set a breakpoint. To set a breakpoint, you just click in the yellow column here. You just click there, put a red dot there. That's going to put a breakpoint. So when you execute your program, when it gets to this, when it tries to execute this line, it's going to stop right there. Okay? So let's go ahead and execute the program. And let's type in Bob Smith. All right. Now, what I want you to see is I actually have my debugger in a different window. So I'll pull that in here in a minute. Okay, so if we're going to go ahead and set that value to true. So and then we're going to execute the code. All right, if you hover over the value, it shows you that it's false. You can also look in your debugger and you can see that my checkbox, its value is true. The all caps is false. Now, to step through the code, you can, that's going to step over, so you can do F7 to step through, I believe. So if I hit F7, okay, so that just steps down to the next line, okay. You can see now all caps is true and the checkbox is true, okay. So when it executed this line of code, it set that value to true. Now I'm going to forcefully change it back to false. So you hit F7 again, and now all caps is false. And so when it comes down to this condition, you can see my Boolean value is false, even though my checkbox is true. Okay, just because, just showing that you know, you can programmatically, you know, set these values. Okay, so now when it runs through this code, it's gonna skip this one and it's gonna go down to the lower, because this is gonna return this. You can see this returns a false value. Okay, so let's hit F7 again. So it skips this one and it goes down to here, and now it's gonna execute this line of code. And if we, let's get the debugger out of the way. Let's clear our breakpoint, and let's just continue on with the program. So even though my checkbox is checked, this value is lowercase because I just forcefully set the value. So that's how you work with Booleans. Booleans are it's a fabulous data type as you're checking different conditions and stuff. So that's it for this video. We'll look at a different data type in the next video. All right, thanks.